Hey, Shrewdness fans. Welcome to the Shrewdness podcast. I'm Prue, Dex, and Chiz here with us. We have another great episode planned this week. We're going to go into a Royals preview. Our favorite team, Royals, started out 0-2, but they've won the last two. Things are trending the right direction. So I want to look at their team and highlight what we're excited to watch for this season and what some of their keys to victory are, or keys to the postseason. So I'm going to throw it over to Chiz.
For those of you who are Missouri sports fans like we are, we grew up Royals fans, and we wanted to give a little Royals preview. So last year we did some in-depth dig on every team, which was quite insane but quite fun. And this year we wanted to just at least do that for the Royals and talk about kind of where we are going into the season, what the hopes are, talk about the positions, where our strengths are, where our weaknesses are. So we're going to dive into that right now. If you don't like the Royals, you can stop and we'll see you next week. But if you don't, or if you don't, be a grown-up and learn to like the Royals, because you should. So listen to the preview.
And send it to a friend that loves the Royals, which is probably more people than you think.
Absolutely. So we want to dive into the Royals. So I'll start out by, we're 4 games in. Royals are 2-2. I want to give you a little bit of breakdown into how the Royals were created. Their 40-man roster, 18 of them are homegrown via the draft and or free agent signings, or signings, international signings. 7 from free agents, 15 from trades. So 0 are on the 40-man rosters from waivers or Rule 5. So this is a pretty much homegrown team where they made trades to get these guys. The strength of the team is definitely in its starting pitching. So let's start there. So let's look at the starting. I'll throw out the starting 5, get you guys' thoughts on them. Little preview here. Cole Reagans is starting pitcher 1, lefty, 28 years old. He has been in the majors for 3 years. Got him from the Rangers a couple of years ago in a trade, a really good trade for Aroldis Chapman, I believe.
Who's still good somehow.
Still good. Cole's going to start. Second pitcher is Michael Wacha, 34-year-old. He'll be 35 this season. Free agent that the Royals got from the Padres. Originally
the Cardinals.
A first-round pick for the Cardinals. Reagans was a first-round pick for the Rangers, so you got 2 first-round picks right there. Then the third slot, Seth Lugo, a free agent pitcher. He is 30.
Did you say Seth Lugo or Cy Lugo?
Cy Lugo, who had a really good start too to start out the season. He is they got as a free agent a couple years ago
from the Metropolitans,
and from the Mets. He is he was a 34th round pick. So he is the one oddity in this group, because you go to the 4th starter, Chris Bubic, the Croatian sensation. Lefty, 28 years old, and he was a first-round pick as well. So 3 of their first 4 were first-round picks.
I think 2 lefties from the Braves, right? Is that the right
righties. One? No, the Royals drafted him straight up.
Was
so
it?
He's a homegrown dude.
That's right. Yeah, I was thinking the other guy last year.
First round, and then the 5th starter was quite heavily contested, and we'll talk about the depth that they have here after we get through these 5. But Noah Cameron. So they've got 3 lefties. Noah Cameron's 26 years old. So 3 lefties in that starting 5. You got 2 older guys in Wacha and Lugo. Nice balance. 3 younger guys in their late 20s. How do we feel about this this starting 5, guys?
I think it's solid all the way through. I mean, the fact is, we had high hopes on Bubic, and he's our 4. And when you have top 4 that you all feel like could be, they could all be top 2s on most teams.
That's
Other than the best of the best staffs, Chris Bubic could be a top 2 or 3 starter, and he's 4 on our team. Noah Cameron could be among the top 3 or 4 on almost every team, and he's battling to remain our 5th starter.
That's right.
And he showed a lot last year, so he's a homegrown Kansas City kid, I believe, right? Just up the road. Was he Liberty or something, or St. Joe, somewhere in there? But Noah Cameron showed enough. It is weird we got 3 lefties, though, but I don't know. I guess it kind of takes away a lot of these lineups. If you're left-handed stacked and that's all your best guys, it makes you platoon all your other dudes out, or just suffer the consequences of the lefty-lefty matchup. So I like their staff. I do think they're one of the more competitive staffs, which is one reason I think we all like the Royals to win the division this year. We think they have the best pitching, like top to bottom. So that's exactly kind of what I think on this.
So any concern, Pruitt, I'm going to throw this to you. Any concern, Reagan's, is a guy who is talked about a lot as Cy Young potential, as a one starter. He's had a couple really good years. He's had some injury issues. His first start this year, though, he gave up, I think, 3 home runs. So had 2 or 3 home runs in that game. He definitely had a propensity to give up the long ball. Any concern? He didn't have a great spring either. Any concern with Reagan's, or do you think he works this out and gets back to old form?
I think he's still okay. A lot of power pitchers don't start quick. They take a little bit longer. Schilling and Clemens and guys like that in the past took a few starts before they really locked in and started dominating. So he can still get there. I'm always a little bit worried about Reagan's and his injury propensity. So he may start 30 games this year and be just fine. He may struggle for 3 starts and then dominate for 2 and hurt himself and be out for 2 months. It's hard to tell.
Right.
Right. So I never like put too much faith in him because I don't have to. Right.
Yes.
I really like our depth. And the balance that you alluded to, Chiz. We got a few young guys, but we've also got some veteran guys that can lock that staff down, and on any given day, any one of them can go out and throw a quality start and give you a chance to win. So,
yep,
that's right.
I can't complain about our staff. I think that is by far the strong suit.
I agree. I think Bubic is going to have a breakout year. I think they're going to be stuck in a conundrum with him, because if it gets to trade deadline time and it's borderline, he is going to be a hot commodity. I think this is his last year under contract, if I'm correct. And if that's the case, they're going to have to pay a lot of money for a quality lefty starter, or trade him at the deadline. And if it's going to depend on how the first half goes, right?
I don't think we're going to be in a position where we're going to want to trade Chris Bubic, though.
I don't either.
I think, given this division and given, again, that when we get to the lineup, too, I think we're going to be in a lot of games. The pitching is going to keep us there, and the hitters are going to get us over the hump in many of these games. So I don't know if that's going to be a valid concern, but I hear you. He's going to have a lot of value. And when the offers come in, you're like, oh, man, that is a lot.
Well, it's especially when you look at the depth. So this is something we have not had the benefit of in some years. But if you look at the depth that the Royals have, so I want to throw out a couple names that were vying for that 5 spot and get your reaction. Bailey Falter, a guy we got on a trade with Pittsburgh last year, midseason. A lot of talent. Another lefty, incidentally. A guy named Steven Kolick, we got in a trade in July of last year as well with the Padres. He originally was a Dodger. He is a 28-year-old, kind of in his prime. Alec Marsh, you may remember Alec Marsh making several starts for us. He was drafted in the second round by the Royals in 2019, so he's a homegrown kid. He's going to be out the first couple months of the season, but he should be returning. And then there's some young here's another one. We got on a trade as well in July of last year with the Padres, Ryan Bergert. Ryan Bergert is a 26-year-old guy, highly recruited, highly drafted prospect as well. They thought a lot of him. It never really panned out. He's a righty. And then I'll list a couple other guys that are homegrown for us. Luinder Avila, who came up last year and had a really good showing in September. Really good, a lot better than some people said. Hey, this guy should be a shoo-in for the starting 5 next year, but he's not. And then Ben Kudrna, which I always say wrong, because he's Kudrna. Can I buy a vowel, please? I
like compliments. They're my favorite.
He was a second-round pick for the Royals. So if you look at that depth, there's a lot of starters there. There's a lot of starters and a lot of guys who, I'm not saying these guys are 3 starters, but got a lot of guys who are 4 or 5 starters probably for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so it should bode well if and when, I should say when, the injury bug comes, because starting pitching tends to, that's just how it goes. Somebody's going to get hurt in the week, right? I got it too. So what do you guys think about the depth that they've got there?
I mean, the depth is something that's commendable because you're right. A lot of teams would be envious of that. And Bailey Falter, he's a legitimate starter. I mean, for Pittsburgh, he was in their rotation. And
that's right.
Sure, we got him in a trade, but that was someone. It's only because Pittsburgh got more arms coming. So all of their top prospects are all more pitchers with higher upsides. So Pittsburgh has had enough pitchers. It was excess for them. And so again, that some of the other guys we have, I think they are back of the rotation pitchers or kind of bullpen arms. But some of these bullpen arms we've seen can turn into really, really good. Luke Hoshaver. I mean, some of these guys that were kind of flopperooski pitchers turn into studs in the bullpen. So that could easily be some of these guys because they got the pedigree and they've got stuff. There's a reason they're there. But we might end up having more bullpen arms out of the deal, which is fine. I think Alec Marsh will for sure be bullpen when he comes back. Just not going to be enough time to stretch him out, but why run it when you don't need him? So I think he'd be vying for something next year, but not this year. So I kind of like it. Prue, what do you think?
Yeah, there's a lot of the guys are still young enough; they're kind of untested, right? So some of them will, kind of take off and become legit 3 starters in a couple years. Other ones may never get to be a 5 starter, right? So that's the price you pay with balancing youth and veteran players is that you're still early enough in some of these guys' careers. It's really too early to tell what they're going to turn into. But just having guys like that on your team and available so that you can go to them if and when the injury bug hits, that's like you said, Dex, that's commendable that you're even in that position.
That's right.
A lot of teams struggle, right? When somebody in their starting 5 goes down, they don't have any options and they end up throwing out a guy that's not really ready to start or hasn't ever started or whatever just to fill a spot. I feel like the Royals don't have to give in on games like that. They have at least got options.
That's right. The other thing it does for us is there's always people wanting pitching. So if we are in a playoff race and we need another bat, for instance, there's a lot of teams that are going to like the idea of young pitching prospects in exchange for that. So if we're in a position where we're in a playoff run and we think we need another bat to go and get it for the first time in a while, we've got some collateral that we could actually trade with. So I think that's beneficial. I mentioned Luinder Avila is the number 3 prospect right now in the system, and Ben Caderna is the number 4 prospect right now in the system. So 1 and 2, in case you're wondering, number 1 happens to be in the major leagues right now, Carter Jensen. We've talked about him, and we'll talk about him more. And then number 2 is Blake Mitchell, another catcher who is still very young, 21 years old. So now let's move to the bullpen. Great starting pitching we've identified. Now this is the area that struggled a little bit more last year. Right now, the aforementioned Bailey Falter is a long reliever, as we are seeing how the year plays out. A lefty, 28-year-old from Pittsburgh. They signed a free agent for middle relief from Detroit named Alex Lang. He's got a pretty good history. He's 30 years old. He's a low 4 ERA guy, not a high leverage guy. Probably eat some innings, not going to blow up. They have formally and officially moved Daniel Lynch IV to the bullpen. So he is a bullpen guy, lefty, 29 years old. He was a first-round pick in 2018 for the Royals, but a lefty out of the pen, which is nice. Nick Mears is a guy they got in a trade in the offseason with the Brewers. He was originally drafted by Pittsburgh as well, Dex, as you were talking about. So he pitched today, did a good job. We've got high leverage John Schreiber, who actually closed the game today.
Yes.
Believe it or not. Nice. So John Schreiber is back, guy we got from Boston a couple years ago in a trade. He is a 32-year-old, so he is the elder statesman. Well, not quite, but he is one of the oldest guys in the bullpen. And then we've got a Boomerang, and there's 2 setup guys. Boomerang lefty, Matt Strom. Matt Strom used to be a Royal, and he showed a lot of potential, and then we traded him away, and he did quite well. He had a nice little run for several teams, including Philadelphia, who we traded with, to get him
Yep.
back. So Matt Strom is back. He's 34 now. He's a little more journeyed, but he still throws some heat, and he's a lefty. So he is a lefty setup guy for us. The righty setup guy is Lucas Ursig.
Yep.
And I think probably for the time being the de facto closer.
I would say too.
Because Ursig is a guy who has closed and he has some nasty stuff. Is very dependable in that role. 30-year-old righty that we got from Oakland a couple years ago. And then the one that we are going to spend some time discussing, Carlos Estevez. 33-year-old closer we got from Philly.
He's a little mixed results.
He was a closer for the Rockies. It's tough to close in Colorado, but he did a pretty good job.
You only get like 30 chances.
That's right. You don't get a lot of chances in Colorado.
In your career.
So let's start with the lightning rod. Let's start with Estevez. So in spring training, the word was velocity's down. And this is a guy that relies on high 90s velocity to be effective. He's 33 years old, so he's no spring chicken. But they said velocity's down. He pitched in the World Baseball Classic. Middling results. He had, I think, one outing that was pretty good. One outing he got roughed up a little bit. And then, to your point, Prue, Michael Wacha had a phenomenal start. Game 2, they were winning. They did not put up runs. They were winning 2-0, I believe. Yeah, 2-0 going into the 9th inning. And boy, did the wheels come off with Carlos Estevez, who gave up 6 runs, including a walk-off grand slam. And now he is hurt. So, where do you guys stand with Estevez? Are there major red flags for you here? Do we feel like it's just he's made the statement, hey, my velocity always takes a while to build up. It takes a while through the season. It's always like this for me. Or do we need to say like, oh gosh, this is a problem?
I think I felt this exact same way about him last April.
Mm-hmm.
It's still March, but when we get to April, I'm pretty sure you had a very similar start or similar outing early last year, and I thought the same thing. And then he went on to have be lights out for the next month or something.
Yeah.
So it's still super frustrating to me because Ursig is lights out nearly every outing.
Yeah.
And it's hard to believe that guy's not your closer for me anyway. But Estevez, we'll see if he continues to get roughed up. I think you got to go elsewhere after maybe 3 blown saves or something, and then he's out. If I'm managing.
Yeah, I think on that line, so Ursig, I agree. I think he's our best reliever and probably could easily be the closer. But I think the Royals are going to use him in the high leverage situations when you need to get out of an inning. If that's the 6th, 7th, or 8th, I think they want to use Lucas Ursig there to get you out of the inning and keep the game there. Which normally, as long as you can just get to the 9th, you can kind of throw anybody there. A lot of teams don't have designated closers anymore. It's not like when we grew up and it's Quisenberry or Todd Worrell or Lee Smith or fill in the blank, Dennis Eckersley. Those guys never did an inning other than the 9th, ever.
Right.
But then, just as the game has changed and evolved, when it's 2 outs in the 7th and the best guy's up with a runner on 2nd and 3rd and you're up 1, sometimes you bring in your best guy in those moments. I think the Royals, they don't usually bring him in that early, like 6th inning, but I've seen him in the 7th. I've seen him in the 8th. And I think Lucas Ursig has got that role right now. But I think while Estevez is out, why not have him be the closer? Because Matt Strom can also serve in that role to kind of get people out. I like Strom a lot. I think that was a great pickup. I like having him in the back end of the bullpen. I think between him and Ursig, 2 most trustworthy ones, I would go on a limb. You can never have too many good bullpen arms. But
yeah, no doubt.
We'll see how that plays out. I think that's going to be a story for the Royals is when your pitching gets you in these situations and your bats give you enough to be ahead, it would be really nice to be able to get those 3 outs in the 8th or the 9th and close the games out.
And Schreiber stepped in today, and so they have some options, which is nice.
They do.
Maybe they're still feeling out who's going to take what role. Every bullpen is kind of, a little bit shuffled around at the beginning of the season until they kind of settle into a specific role.
But it makes me yearn for the yesteryear when the Royals had a 7th, 8th, and 9th inning guy. And when you were up in the 6th, if you were up 3-2 in the 6th, the game was over.
Yeah.
That's right.
7, 8, 9 was 0-0-0.
That's right.
Sounds good. We're not going to score negative runs when we bat, so we're good.
That's right.
We can't take them off the board. Once we're there, we're there.
That was so
and
nice.
And for 2 straight seasons, it was just awesome having that.
Yeah.
We're not there yet. I'm hopeful someone come along, or maybe we can trade piece our way into a struggling team at the break. Doesn't need a closer, really, because they've only won 25 games, and maybe we can scoop one of those guys at the trade deadline for some of our excess. So that would be really nice to. I'm going to keep my eyes open on the market and as we go through the season.
I will say I'm concerned. Because of his age and the fact that the velocity is down. I do think it will get better. But I'll be honest, I've never loved him as a closer because he's a little too on the edge for me. I like the guy that's going to come in. I don't want any stress from my closer. I loved the guy. I loved whenever you had Quisenberry. I love it when you had Jeff Montgomery. I love, like you said, the bullpens back in the day with Holland and Herrera and those were the
Wade
guys
Davis.
Wade
Davis was not
so many good ones.
HDH. That bullpen was ridiculous, and I never worried. Estevez is always a little bit of a roller coaster for me. He's one of those closers that likes to walk the first 2 and then like, let's see if we can get out of this. So I don't love that when you're throwing 93. I would love to see. I agree with what you said, Dex. I think Urseg's probably going to be used in the highest leverage situation. I think he's the most closer mentality. I do think Strom could do it too. Either of those 2 guys could probably do it. The rest of the bullpen I like quite a bit. Schreiber is not a blow it past you guy though. He is I'm going to throw a strike and let's see if he can hit it. And that's not bad. He has a sinker, and so that does well. I think Daniel Lynch is going to be really good out of the bullpen situationally, and I think since he knows his role now, that's going to help him a lot.
I really like him in that spot because of his starting experience too. I think
totally
lefties that have had starting experience that can get righties out too.
That's right.
Are not so one-sided as the lefty specialists from the past or whatever.
Exactly. You're not a platoon pitcher.
Yes. Yeah.
That's right.
So I think that's a good asset for the Royals this year.
And Lynch was a former first-round pick. You don't like to see that guy be a bullpen guy, but he has a guy that's Alex Lang, who, like I mentioned before, he was a former first-round pick too. They thought was going to be a starter. Now he's a bullpen guy. So there's 2 talented arms there in the bullpen. And then I mentioned Nick Mears as well. So I think the bullpen is stronger this year, which is important. So the pitching is not going to be the issue. The issue last year overall was they just didn't score enough dang runs. They didn't have enough bats.
It's really just the outfield. The infield did their job.
Is awful. So let's talk about that infield. Probably the best, I'm not exaggerating, probably the best left side of the infield in the American League.
A gold glove and a platinum glove. It's hard to get better.
And honestly, when we had this preview last year, we were talking about third base. We had a lot of discussion if Michael Garcia was going to have that job for very long.
True story. We were tossing all sorts of replacements for him. Arenado, we were hoping that we got a hit.
What can we do with him?
We were convinced Bregman was going to come in and
totally. Well, Michael Garcia all he did was come in last year and flip us the double bird and said, "Man, I am legit. I don't know what you're talking about." Then he went on to the World Baseball Classic and was like,
MVP.
I'm the MVP, baby. How you like me? So
he gave us the Scooble.
He did give us the Scooble. And
double scoobs.
Hey, newsflash, Michael Garcia is the same age as Bobby Witt Jr., and he is not getting nearly the hype. And I'm okay with that, quite honestly. I like the fact that we've got this guy to anchor third. I hope what we need now is a second season out of him, right? Because a lot of guys can have that just cool, had a great season.
Yeah.
But then the maturity comes when, now am I every year great
That's
season
right.
guy. And
Yep.
he's
I can
got
make
the
adjustments.
tools. He's got the defense for sure. The question was always with the bat, and he answered those questions last year with the bat. What do you think about him this year, Dex? Do you like Maikel Garcia to have a repeat year at third?
I think he's coming in with about as much confidence as he possibly could. And if the hitting's a lot of confidence, when you see beach balls and watermelons coming up to the plate, you
Yep.
tend that hit a little bit better. I think his approach is better. I think he's taking better at bats. I think he's swinging at more strikes instead of balls. He was chasing a lot a couple years ago, but now he's earning some walks, which again is not really a strong suit either. But he's seeing more pitches. Quality at bats are up. So I
Professional
like
at
Michael
bats.
Garcia. Yeah,
Right.
I like to see professional bats, multiple pitches, and he's doing it. So I don't see. There's no evidence that he's not going to have another good year. So far so good. I'm all
I
in on
agree.
Garcia.
I agree, and he has taken that leadoff spot, which last year was a challenge because we had Jonathan India in it for a lot of the year who underperformed. So Maikel Garcia in that spot, I think, is pretty good. Pruitt hitting second and shortstop for the Kansas City Royals is a guy named Bobby Witt Jr., I believe. You may have heard of his father. That's how I know about him. Through his father.
Yes.
Oh, that one. Robert Witt. Oh,
Robert
yes.
Witt, yes. Here's my question to you on Bobby Witt Jr. I'm not going to ask you some foolish question like, is he good? I'm going to ask you, do you think he's going to win the MVP this year?
Well, we talked about that on a previous episode.
Yes.
And I am 100% convinced he has the talent to win an MVP.
For sure.
It's really the
stats around him.
Well, I think it's who else emerges, right? I mean, you can't predict an Aaron Judge season like last season. Maybe you can out of Judge, who knows? But
Cal Raleigh would have been second anyway.
Yeah, true.
I mean, it's taken some almost historic performances to overshadow what Bobby Witt Jr. has done the last couple of years.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You got Camaneros, you got Vlad Guerreros. There is a ton of talent in the AL that can all put up the numbers to win an MVP. So Bobby Witt is in those discussions, I think.
I think what he does differently, though, is there's a lot of guys with bats. I think the fact that he is the kind of war he is on defense.
Yes.
I mean, if you watch any baseball, the range he has backwards is insane.
Yeah.
He makes catches in left field.
Yeah.
There's
no bloops in left field. No bloops.
There are no bloops in left field. And then you combine that with the fact that, I mean, his incredible cannon arm, he hits the contact, he hits for power, but he's fast, so he can steal bases. And that's where you differentiate from Vlad Guerrero and, some of those guys that they can't do that.
Right.
All those tools. Can he put it all together? Great question. Maikel Garcia needs to get on so he can get some RBI numbers. Vinny, batting third, needs to provide some protection, right?
That's right.
I mean, Bobby Witt was among the league leaders in runs scored last year. Getting around the bases, he's a phenomenal base runner, number one.
Oh, it's so fun to watch how fast he hits those bases.
Between his speed, his stolen base, techniques or whatever, he will score runs. I think the first thing you said there is can Garcia and to the bottom of the lineup set the table for him.
Oh yeah,
to drive runs in.
That's right. That's good. So let's talk about the number 3 hitter, Vinny Pasquantino. Vinny Pasquantino from a team in Italia.
The best squad. Yeah.
So he had a career year last year. He started out just hideous and then caught fire and never stopped through the rest of the year. So then he had a really good, had a 3 home run World Baseball Classic for Italy, first time that's ever done. Plus, he's just like the best personality in the clubhouse you could possibly have. Anytime I see a Vinny clip, I'm listening because he's just awesome.
Yeah.
He and Bobby are roommates in spring training, which is so fun. Lefty, 28 years old, a little bit of a late bloomer, but man, he's got some pop. Prue, what do you think about Vinny's year this year? Can he keep the ball rolling? Can he build on what he did last year, maybe raise the average even a little more?
I think so. Certainly capable of it. Dex mentioned confidence earlier. Vinny's, very confident. in his abilities as a major league ball player. Super great personality, very comfortable being on camera and kind of being the veteran star that's kind of pouring into the young guys on the team. And
totally,
he's sort of like a Salvador Perez in some ways.
Has that feel about him, doesn't he?
Comfortable,
He kind of screams leader.
Comfortable in the leadership role and kind of the veteran guy he knows he's not the best on the team, doesn't try to be, but he's pouring in his wisdom to the younger group to get them
kind
up
of knows
to speed.
what he is, right? He knows like, hey, I'm the power guy. I'm gonna. I did notice today though he's getting some good professional at bats. I always think Dex professional at bats. He had 2 walks today.
Yeah.
Which I love to see out of a first baseman, a power hitting first baseman, because most of the time they're just swing and miss and, go back.
But I don't want it to be so many walks like Joey Votto, who just never knocks anybody in. He's like, I'd rather just walk. I'll foul off 40 pitches. I want to hit 40 home runs and have 48 RBIs. I'm not hitting with anybody on base. I'm walking. I'm walking.
Right.
I'm gonna set the table from somebody that can hit the home run.
Right.
Exactly.
That's right.
I don't want to go that way, but
no. Yeah. I think the key. I'm going to be so bold as to say I think the key to the Royals season lies in the 3-hole in Vinny Pasquantino. If he has a solid year, above average for him, I think they go to the playoffs. If he doesn't, I think that hole in the 3 spot is real tough to fill, especially when you go to number 4, Salvador Perez. So Salvador Perez is a guy who likes to hit with runners in scoring position, likes to hit in pressure positions. If there aren't guys in pressure positions, a lot of times he's swinging from the tips, and he's going to have a lot of Ks. But he is going to turn 36 here in a couple months. Dex, I got to ask you, he's 14 years in the majors as a catcher. That's a lot of wear and tear on a body.
And it depends on which birth certificate you look at, too. Salvi might be on Satchel page 50. We don't really know. He's in old mid-30s.
He might be.
Venezuelan record keeping, I don't know how good it is.
That's right.
Whatever. Salvi's a beast.
He's already got 1 home run this year, so what do you think?
We're going to get a clubhouse leader that is just the best. And even if he's only that, the Royals will still benefit from it. Because here's the deal. Carter Jensen is here. He is a great hitter. And the Royals have his replacement already. And the thing is, and even for Vinny, I think Carter Jensen could probably, I know we haven't got to him yet, but he could probably fill in for that 3-hole slot. I think that type of hitter. He's got that type of approach. Carter Jensen's phenomenal.
I agree.
So I don't worry as much on whether Salvi doesn't need a 45 home run year. I mean, it'd be nice if he could crank about 20, and if he could still hang around 250. I mean, 250, 20, and 70 RBIs would be perfect. That's all we need from Salvi. We don't need an all-star bringing back the MVP talk. He's not going to have it, man. You don't generally find the fountain of youth as you keep going as a catcher who catches as many games as he does. I just don't see it. So I think it will be downgrade a little bit from his stats last year, but he's still going to be good, and his value's not just in stats.
That's what I was going to ask you, Dex. So last year he went 236 batting average, higher or lower?
Probably around the same. That's why I said I'd love to see 250, because just those extra few hits over the course of his season, they change games.
And then 30 home runs, higher or lower?
Lower for sure.
And then 100 RBIs, higher or lower?
I hope he gets to 70.
Okay.
I think he'll be in between there. I'd like to see him hit 90.
All right. I think that's probably about right.
A lot of the RBI chances is going to come down to what we just talked about, right? If Bobby Witt and Vinny get on base, Salvi will knock them in.
He had
you would take like 250, 20, and 75 RBIs from Salvi this year. You would take that.
Yeah, I would.
250, 100%. I would also take 230 with 30 bombs and 95 RBIs.
He played 155 games this year. My prediction is he's probably going to catch about half the games, is what I would think. I think they're going to start the transition. He's going to catch about half the games. He's going to DH about a quarter of the games. He's going to play first base for,
against tough lefties or something. Yeah,
20% of the games. He's going to be in most of the games, though. It's hard to keep him on the bench. And like you said, even if he could provide the leadership, that's a huge deal. So let's go to number 5, which is the guy who's going to be spelling him a lot, the number 1 prospect, drafted out of the 3rd round in 21, Carter Jensen. He's a left-handed catcher, and he has a
left-handed hitting catcher.
A left-handed hitting catcher, sorry.
He throws
left-handed
right.
hitting catcher, throws right. Probably, hate to say this because Salvi's gotten worse and worse when it comes to framing every year, according to the data. A better framing catcher, probably, than Salvi. Although I will give this little anecdote.
ABS, baby.
That's
3
right.
for 3 in his first game at an ABS challenge, just making the umpire look a fool.
Including one that was like 0.3 inches or something.
And he's like, nope, that's a strike.
Yeah.
No.
It's so great. So Carter Jensen hitting in that 5-hole. What's a projection for him? Can he get to 20 home runs his rookie year?
I'm gonna say not quite. I'm gonna say
He's
18.
got one. He's got one.
I'm gonna
He's got
say
one in March, Drew. He's already got one in March. We're not even to April yet.
18.
I'm gonna say 18, and I think I'm hopeful that I will be pleasantly surprised on his batting average.
Okay.
I'd like to see him hit for a higher average and not get to 20 home runs.
Okay. Dex, over or under 20 homers?
I think it's going to come down to plate appearances and how much Salvi refuses to come out and whether they try and spell him. But they had him at DH, so the thing is, I like him there. And when if he's catching or DH, he should play all the time. If he plays all the time, easy 25.
I think he's going to hit 80% of the games, is my guess.
I do too.
I think he's going to
have
be
25 homers. I think he's going to bat a high average, so 280.
Okay.
I think he's going to be. He's a good hitter, man. I mean, look at his minor league stats. He's legit, man.
I didn't factor in the
fences are in Kansas City, baby. The fences are in.
Fences are in.
I did not factor that. But if he's hitting 280, he's going to be hitting every day, and that gives him, to your point, more opportunities.
Fences in. Salvi may hit 80 home runs this year. Who knows? Exciting to watch Carter Jensen. It's going to be a fun year to watch him. He's only 22 years old.
So there's only, as of the taping of this episode, only been one home game this year, and they said there was 3 home runs hit, and they said all 3 of them would have been out of the old ballpark dimensions too. So
that's right.
New fences haven't factored yet, but
not yet.
They will.
Not yet. In the 6th hole, this is a big year for this guy, Jonathan India, traded from Cincinnati. He was a rookie of the year. Had all kinds of potential. 1st-round draft pick, number 5 overall. Last year was a big Dex,
100%.
What happens with Jonathan India? They've moved him down in the lineup. He's down in the 6th hole. He was in the 1 hole. What do you think?
That might help him. So I think when your approach has to change where you are in the lineup, it's just that's how baseball works. I think he might have put a little too much pressure on himself at the top because I don't believe he was batting leadoff for Cincinnati. I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I thought he was in the 2. He was in the middle of the lineup, but I don't think he was leadoff. So I think he might be more comfortable being farther down. And again, I like the fact that you can put him 6 because the other 5 guys above him are better. So that's always nice. So in that, there's less pressure. I think he can do. He's got pop. I mean, he's fast. He's got some pop. So Jonathan India is still a good hitter.
Yeah.
I just think his approach must have changed or something. He just didn't look right last year, man.
He's very aggressive last year, like to his detriment. I felt like he got himself in the hole a lot, being aggressive early, and then it was like it totally changed his approach, and you're defensive, and you know. The other thing that hurt him is he was coming from Cincinnati, which is a bit of a bandbox, and he's in Kauffman Stadium, which was huge. I think the moving in of the fences is going to benefit him a lot. I think Jonathan India is one of those guys who that little bit of a difference is a big deal for some guys, and I think he's one of those guys that had a lot of warning track power last year, and that probably changed his approach. So they've got him hitting 6th. He's off to a bit of a slow start. I think he's 1 for 11 to start out the year, but 7 hole, another guy who underperformed last year. The bottom of this lineup is stacked with potential. India, rookie of the year. Caglione, who's supposed to be a
beast,
rookie of the year. What do you think about him, Prue, going to see Caglione in the 7 hole. He's 23 years old, first-round draft pick. He hits the ball about 400 miles an hour when he hits it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
How do you think he's going to do this year?
a guy like Jack that has so much raw power. I think moving the fences in tremendously helps him. He doesn't need the help, but even misses now, long fly balls are home runs.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he's going to hit a lot of towering fly balls that just carry and wind up over the fence. So it wouldn't shock me if he gets to 25 before Carter Jensen. And I'm hoping he just keeps on going. And I'd love to see him hit 30 home runs.
If you look at this lineup, Witt has the ability to hit over 20 homers. Vinny has the ability. Perez has the ability. Jensen has the ability. Caglione has the ability. It's a lot of 20 home run hitters potentially right there. Dex, does Caglione have? Does he have 30 this year? Over or under 30 homers for Caglione?
I think he's playing time too, right? I mean, he didn't even play the first game, and against lefties, I don't know if they're going to platoon him. I mean, we have 3 outfielders that are playing that were not named Jack Caglione in the first game.
Yeah.
So I think if they platoon him, it's going to be hard to get those numbers. But if he earns his way into more at-bats, and if, again, we're going to get to these guys, but if our bottom of the order outfielders don't produce, he'll get more at-bats, and with more at-bats, more opportunity. Like Pruitt was saying, high fly balls for this guy. They go like 400 feet, so
yeah,
that's always helpful, and that's going to be out this year at Royal Stadium. So I think Jack is totally dependent on at-bats, and hopefully he takes a better approach. Last year, he kind of had some really, really, really bad luck on BABIP, and so the balls he hit were lasers and tearing the cover off, but just going right into gloves.
That's right.
Can't do anything about that. It's a lot of bad luck. So I think the luck will have to switch just to go back to the medium, and so I think that'll help. I just don't know. It's all plate appearances for him.
No, you're right. And he started out. They've started out saying, "Hey, you're going to play against righties." We'll see if that continues. But it's worked so far. He's 2 for 7, so he's hitting 286. That's a much better start to the year. Just not getting mentally in the negative space. I think we'll do worlds.
I think only 2 strikeouts. I think so far. Did I see?
I just hope he's not a platoon guy though. I don't know. Jack Caglione to be a platoon guy.
Yeah, that's right. 2 strikeouts so far. And yes, I agree. I don't think he should be a platoon guy. I wonder if this is just a mental thing where it's like, hey, let's show you that you can hit the heck out of the ball and then start working you in against some lefties so you get some confidence. That's what I'm hoping that's going to be.
Yep.
In the 8 hole, a guy who I don't really know what to think about. We got in the offseason, Isaac Collins is the guy that they've got in left field. So I think, Dex, you were mentioning that Isaac Collins, was he second in Rookie of the Year voting, did you say?
Like 4th or 5th, but he was mentioned. And so he was definitely one of the better rookies last year, which is kind of surprising they traded him. But at the same time, I don't know. He doesn't have like a super high ceiling is what I was reading up on him. Like he has a pretty high floor, but not a high ceiling. So he's going to be a quality major league player.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that, man, because holy bejesus, we would have taken that last year.
Oh,
like our outfield was freaking atrocious. And so he is already better than what we had last year. So I like him. And like I said, he's net positive, right? So we're already moving up just by having him in the lineup. And the only thing, we've only seen a little bit, right? Last year's it. There's not a long track record to pull from. Like, oh, he's done this for years. So it's not like a Benintendi that was kind of struggle, like Austin, then struggle bus, and then now he's really good again. I don't know what Collins is going to be. Who knows? So this is going to be we all get to learn together this year and see how he'll do in Kauffman with this lineup on this team.
Yep, that's right.
See what happens.
So last year he started 100 games for the Brewers. He had 9 home runs and he had 16 stolen bases. So in 100 games. So to your point, like it doesn't look like he's like a wowing guy, but he's definitely probably an above average outfielder, and he's definitely above what we were putting in left field last year.
What was his batting average?
His batting average was 263.
On base?
His on base was 368.
There we go. Take some pitches. I like it.
So he definitely is a guy who does take more more pitches than what we've had in a while, and he hit a home run today. So that's a good start for him. He's an interesting one. And then in center, I cannot believe this guy has been around as long as he has. Kyle Isbell is like 8th year or something like that, 7th year starting or with the organization, and he hit a home run today. And Kyle Isbell's coming off of his best hitting season.
Which isn't saying much, people.
It's not saying much, but
bar is low.
He is a guy that you put in there totally for defense in center field because he's a vacuum. And if you can get anything out of him from a bat standpoint, especially in the 9-hole. So for perspective, last year, the best hitting season was 255. But hey, if Kyle Isbell hits 255
30 points over his average.
in the 9, if he hits 255 this year in the 9-hole, the Royals are going to the World Series. Like that is like that would be insane given his defense. I want to get you guys this quick take on. We're running along.
Who actually started the first game that wasn't even mentioned in the lineup?
Lane Thomas.
Well, that one too, but the other one.
So there are a couple other guys. I'm gonna ask you about the bench here. There's 4 guys on the bench, 2 who actually started on opening day, and those 2 are outfielders. Lane Thomas, who is a free agent that they signed from Cleveland last year. He's been 6 years in the majors. He's 30 years old. A right-handed outfielder. What do we think about Lane Thomas, Dex?
Again, he's better than what we had. I think he's a high floor, not much of a ceiling, Lane Thomas. So the Nationals, they needed talent like anything. They're not going to get rid of it, but they also had James Wood. They got Dylan Cruz. They got Dalen Lyle.
Right.
They didn't need him, so he was absolutely expendable for the Nationals. And the Royals needed anything, and competition's good. I mean, if you have no comp, you can just kind of have crap roll out every single time.
Yep.
So I like the fact that he's a good piece. He plays good defense. He's not going to wow you. He's not going to be like 320. He's not. There's not any category he really like jumps off the page.
Right.
But he's pretty good. He's pretty good. If he's in the lineup, you're like, oh man, Lane Thomas is playing today. Son of a, what's throwing the game in today?
Right.
You're exactly right. What you said earlier. Like we don't need all-stars out there. We need just average.
We got all-stars in the infield.
Yes.
Give me a 1.5 or a 2-WAR guy in the outfield.
You need somebody that can hit their
replacement.
weight. Yeah, somebody that can at least hit their weight playing left field.
That's right. That's right.
Let Isbell and whoever out in center and right take care of their spots. But you can't have a just giant black hole in the 7, 8, and 9 spot in your lineup.
Yeah,
and expect to win.
It's an upgrade. I think both these guys, Collins and Thomas, no matter how much they platoon, and I think they're definitely an upgrade in that spot. I think Isbell, Thomas, Collins, and then this last guy will all kind of rotate, and Caglione. Starling Marte, the wily veteran coming in at 37 years old. And we talked last week, Dex, you were saying he's at the end of the rope, but he's still got a little something in the tank, we think. How do you think he does this year in his in the role they're going to have him play?
So the Marte Parte of old is a little bit different, right?
Nice.
So a few walkers rolling in with tennis balls on the front.
Totally.
And they're becoming to the Marte Parte now. It's not going to be an everyday event where he's hitting bombs in the fountains.
That's right.
But he still has a little tank, man. There's a little gas in there still.
Yeah,
you haven't siphoned it all out yet. And like I said, it is kind of looking at the backside of the sun as it sets.
Yeah.
No more than a lot of takers for Starling Marte.
No.
Between injury risk and age and just production, it's all gone down. But man, if I recall, he beats the bejesus out of lefties. So if he's our just platoon guy against lefties in the outfield, he can still run down a ball. And he's not the kind of – he was mentioned for MVP candidacy back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And when Andrew McCutchen and him were center field and right field, that nothing dropped out there. And those guys were both good. There's a ton of doubles and triples all the time. So he's not that. But, again, I think from the leadership perspective, he's been there. He's been in the playoffs. He's been around a long time. He can impart some knowledge on these young kids. I like it for that, too. And there's nothing wrong with having veteran presence all great teams have great veteran leadership in the locker room. So I like having him there, especially knowing he's only a bit player. I like it even more.
Yeah.
I don't have to count on him. if he had to be vertical for 155 games, no chance.
Yeah.
We
Right.
wouldn't even talking about it. But to know your role and know you only need to play the games we have you in, pinch hit, come out in a spot. I love it. I think it's a good signing.
I mean, even at his age last year, he did only start 74 games for the Mets, but he hit 270.
Yeah, he's a hitter.
He hit 9 home runs in 74 games. And that equates to mid
About 20
teens,
over a season.
20.
right?
Yeah.
Over a season. So for that age, I'll take it. And we're not going to ask him to carry a lot, right? He's probably an every fifth day kind of guy that they have, and then probably pinch hitting off the bench with the veteran approach. I think is going to be helpful too.
Well, like you mentioned, not for the Royals, but for another team that we talked about, or maybe several teams. It sounds like the Royals are kind of embracing the platoon mindset for right field.
Yeah.
Pick up a guy that murders lefties, and you've already got Caglione that we know is capable of murdering any pitcher.
That's right.
And he's a young guy, and he struggled a little bit last year. So, yeah, this takes the pressure off and is like, hey, we're going to start Marte as long as he can go. And when his 37-year-old self breaks down,
totally,
then we'll have our guy that can step in every day.
Absolutely.
Who's right there behind him and learning how to hit lefties and all that. So it seems like a good move to me. He brings the leadership, like you mentioned, Dex, and it's going to be a good fit, I think.
And it could be my dogs back in the day, and Rosie and Willie or Tasha actually. So Tasha just wouldn't let Rosie die ever. Would never let her die. She was ready to go so often. So maybe the young guys, Jack Caglione, will just keep poking Marte, keep him alive a little bit longer than he probably should be. Maybe a little more productive than he should.
Get him some fire.
Just running some circles around him, like.
That's
Come on,
it.
you still got it.
I mean,
let's go.
He is officially the oldest guy on the roster this year by a year. Next would be Seth Lugo, and then coming in third is Salvador Perez. So the other two guys that are coming off the bench, we'll talk a lot about. Yes, the other two guys that we will talk a lot about is coming off the bench. Nick Lofton, kind of in a make or break year, I think, for him. He's going to be playing a utility role. Always been a guy who hits really for high average at AAA.
In the minors.
And then he gets to the majors and he doesn't. So he's not a pop guy, so he needs to hit for average. So we'll see how he does. And then Tyler Tolbert, who he is just a pinch runner. Let's be honest. He's a pinch runner who probably will get sent down when Michael Massey comes off of the injured list. Michael Massey has a strained calf and was actually having a pretty darn good spring until he got hurt. So I think he probably is the guy that takes his spot. But Tolbert will be up and down. No doubt about it. He's still got two options, and he will be up and down as the season goes, and they'll probably bring him up later as the rosters expand. A couple guys I wanted to mention to keep an eye on in the minors. We had a little bit in terms of AAA. We had a little bit of John Rave sighting. He's the one that's kind of in a make or break year. He came up and down a little bit last year. We'll see if he gets another crack this year. There's a really interesting guy the Royals got in the offseason who was a former first-round draft pick, Cameron Meisner, an outfielder. He's 28 years old. He's never really shown – he's not been a bust, but he's never really shown that much. And so they've taken a crack at him. And he's only been in the majors for a couple months in total. He's always been kind of, on the edge. So we'll see how he does at AAA this year. A lot of great catching talent, as we mentioned before, in the minors. Would you say we have a plethora of catching talent in the minors, Pruitt?
Yes.
I think we do. So it could be interesting when it comes trade time, too. You've got Blake Mitchell down there. You have Ramon Ramirez, who is a really great hitting catcher. They also picked up a guy in the offseason, Eli Marrero, a free agent from Boston, who had a crazy spring. So lots of catching talent. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And then there's some veteran guys down there, too, who almost made the team. Josh Rojas, name you may have heard originally with Houston, a lefty. He's 31. Brandon Drury. You may remember Brandon Drury.
Yeah.
He's 33 years old, had a pretty good spring. A guy named Kevin Newman, 32 years old.
Newman
was a
Newman.
Hello, Newman. Former first rounder from Pittsburgh. So a lot of guys like that who could come up. And then you got a couple guys. Drew Waters is still down there. He cleared waivers. The perpetual quadruple A guy. And then Gavin Cross, guy who was a first-round pick for the Royals, had a good spring. Probably needs a little more seasoning. That'll be fun to watch him too. So, and then the pitchers we talked about, of course. So they've got some depth. It's the first time that the Royals have had some depth in the minors. Yeah. They had not had that in many years. It positions them well. Even if they don't have a good year, it positions them well. They can build on that depth. They can build on that depth and that talent in the minors. And if they do make a run, they've got some trade pieces, some guys that could potentially, bring something in a trade. So it should be interesting. So I'm going to put you guys to the test. The last question before we end the show. Royals' final record this year. We're going to go on record. We're going to start with you, Dex. What do you think 162 games? So your total should end up equaling 162. The two numbers you spit out should equal 162 in some way, shape, or form.
Get out your calculator.
I know. Carry the one. Let's see here. All right. I think with the pitching and kind of the way the division is shaping up, so I don't think the White Sox are going to win too many games. I think the Twins probably aren't going to win too many games. I think they'll be the bottom two. And the other three teams, Cleveland, Detroit, and Kansas City, are going to be first, second, and third in some order they're in. But if everybody goes and plays how we think they can play with the talent they have and the starting rotation, the bullpen, and the lineup, and with the depth behind them and playing in the platoon slots we have, I like them to win 90 games. So 90 and 72 is very reasonable and realistic to me. I don't see them as a 500 team, right? They don't look like an 81 and 81 roster. This looks like a team that can take those 9 extra games that maybe they couldn't have a couple years ago, and maybe not last year either. But I think 90 wins I think they can win the division with 90. With that, if they don't, if Detroit or Cleveland has a really good year somehow, I still think they'll make the playoffs with that.
That's good. So 90 and 72. Prue, where do you have them?
So Dex and I didn't talk before the game, but I in my head I had 88. So 88.
You hit my number. We have the same number. I 88, 74.
Yeah, I like them. Could they get to 90? Absolutely. Could they get to 85? Maybe. So I think it's somewhere in between there. 88 is what I like. A lot of things have to go right for them to get to 92 or something, but I think 88 is very achievable.
Yeah, I think to win the division, you're going to need 90, though. And we predict them to win the division, so I had to get to 90.
Yeah, it's going to be right there. Like you said, there's 3 teams that probably could compete for between 86 and 92 wins, and it could be a toss-up for any of those 3.
Well, just for poops and giggles, I'm going to take 89 then. I'll split the middle. We'll go 89 wins, and so there's no way I can win this bet unless I hit 89. Because either other way, you guys are closer. You guys just Price is Right.
I'll take $1. I'll take $1.
Right.
Right.
Awesome. Well, great times. Can't wait to talk about this team as the season progresses, and we definitely will in the dog days of summer when there isn't a whole lot to talk about. We'll be talking some Royals baseball, and hopefully we're talking about a competitive team.
Yes.
That's right.
All right. Dex, take us home.
All right. So, Shrewdness, you've heard our entire Kansas City Royals preview. Hope you liked that. Send it off to some friends if they are Royals fans or just baseball fans that need to know about competition in their division. So if they're other AL Central fans, send it off to them. Let them know what they're dealing with this year with the Royals. And as we keep progressing, looking forward to seeing how our young guys do on this team. Hopefully the pitching stays vertical. Our bullpen is going to be critically important to hold these leads late in the game. And so that is what we will be looking for the Royals this season. And hopefully en route to a division championship, another playoff appearance, and hopefully a deep run where they can maybe do a parade downtown Kansas City.
That's right.
So that'd be a lot of fun.
Parade, baby.
So that is going to wrap it up for this Kansas City Royals preview episode. So until next week, stay shrewd.
Stay shrewd, everybody.